Today's mental model I want to talk about is something called what it's not. I've done another video before called Process of Elimination, but this is using that principle in much more detail. So to start, we're going to take a math problem and we're going to say, what is the square root of 54, 125, 449? Now let's assume that you can't use a calculator, and I'm going to do this for a very good reason. Some of you may be saying, but Don, I got a calculator, I could figure that out right away. There's a point to this exercise for not using the calculator. So we're going to have four different answers. We're going to have 7359, 7358, 7357, 7356. Now, when you first look at this problem, if you can't use a calculator, most people will start panicking. They'll start trying to back into the numbers, estimation. But I want to give you an approach I found on Quora, which is a question and answer site. And one of the users, his name was Scott McGregor, laid out a brilliant solution for how to use the what it's not principle to back into the answer without doing a ton of complicated math. So to start, if I know, we learned early on, probably before we were in our teens, that we know that an even times an even equals even, right? So I know, based on that principle, there's some number x, right? And x squared has to equal this. Well, x squared is just x times x, right? If I have two evens, I will never get an odd number. Which means this goes away and this goes away. So in one simple move, one fell swoop, we've knocked out half the answers. So even if we have to guess, we've doubled our odds from 1 out of 4 to 1 out of 2. So and this is what's called what it's not. We want to take away what this answer couldn't be, and eventually we'll back into a limited amount of choices or the only choice possible to what it is. So using what it's not, we cut out what it's not and we eventually find what it is. Next, I know that if I look at the last number here, actually before we do that, if I look at this, when I square this number and I do the line by line multiplication, I know the last number is going to be a 1 because 9 times 9 equals 81. So that eliminates this answer. And you're left with this. Now some may question, how do we really know that's the answer? We'll take a look. If I know 7 times 7 equals 49, so whatever this is, it has to end in a 9. The only number you get that with is this. So by using the what it's not principle, and this is going to be a quick video, I want to chop away what it's not. Like imagine you're in a jungle and you got to chop away all the plants to find a path to get to the treasure. That's what we're doing here. And we go back to our earlier years, even times even is even, which means these two go away. And then finally we know 9 times 9 is 81, so the last number of the square would be 1. It can't be this. And when you use the what it's not principle, you make your choices easier. And if you know what it's not, for example, if you're trying to explain light and dark, light is not dark and dark is not light. And when we use that simple visual principle, we can apply that to math, business, relationships, all kinds of things. So to close out this video, what it's not is if you're struggling with a problem, try to start with what it's not first, cut the options away, and then you'll eventually narrow down into what it actually is. So thank you for watching.